Hello, everyone. We know that some Sanditon fans already accepted Sidney's death and welcomed Alexander. There might still be some fans who cannot forget Sidney. We cannot help but agree with both sides. It's true that the character Alexander, played by Ben Lloyd-Hughes, stole everyone's heart and became an immediately well-loved character. But we can also say that Sidney and Charlotte were great for each other. In the final episode of Season 1, right when we thought Sidney and Charlotte were going to get together, Sidney decided to marry someone else. Not because of love or respect. He married that woman because he wanted to use her money to support his family. Of course, this looked like the right decision. But we know that if there were a second season, Sidney would find a way to get back to Charlotte because he would have realized his big mistake. However, this was impossible because the first episode of Sanditon Season 2 saw Sidney's death and the following funeral. It turns out Sidney was in a foreign country for financial purposes, and he caught yellow fever, which was the reason for his death. But we know the real reason for his death was Theo James deciding to leave the show. Before Season 2 was released, the actor announced, "Although I relish playing Sidney, for me, I've always maintained that his journey concluded as I wanted it to." The broken fairy tale-like ending between Charlotte and Sidney is different, unique, and so interesting to me, and I wish the cast and crew of Sanditon every success with future series. At first, this announcement feels genuine. Maybe James really wanted Sidney's story to end there. However, upon second glance, this truly feels like an excuse rather than an explanation. There might be a few different reasons why James left the season. One could be his busy schedule because we know he just recently starred in HBO's The Time Traveler's Wife, where he played a man with a genetic disorder that causes him to travel uncontrollably in time. The HBO series announced Theo James as a cast member in February 2021, months before the filming for Sanditon Season 2 began. So it looks like Theo James had to make a decision between these two series, and he chose The Time Traveler's Wife. It's almost ironic how bad this series ended up being. It received the worst reactions from both critics and audiences alike, and it was canceled after its first season. We wonder if James regrets his decision now. Apart from being part of another project, we think there might be another reason behind James' departure from the show. Although Sidney and Charlotte had amazing on-screen chemistry, the same couldn't be said about their actors. It's possible that James did not want to work with Charlotte's actress Rose Williams anymore. Of course, no actor will say they didn't like working with a co-star, but one can quickly get clues from how these actors talk about each other. For example, when Rose Williams was asked about James' departure in an interview, she didn't even answer the question. She just said it was sad to see some actors leave the show. Why couldn't Williams just say Theo's name? What's even stranger is that she continued to talk about the new actors joining the series but didn't say a word about Theo James. This definitely feels like something was wrong between these two. Potentially, James didn't want to work with Williams anymore, and that's why he left. Maybe the reason for Williams' unwillingness to talk about James could be interpreted in another way. It's possible that she was hurt by James' decision to leave the show because maybe she felt they were both doing a good job. She may have felt abandoned, so she didn't want to talk about him. One also wonders if James would come back to the series in Season 3. The answer is most likely no. Because Seasons 2 and 3 of Sanditon were filmed back-to-back, it is not likely that James found the time to shoot scenes while also filming for The Time Traveler's Wife. Even if he wants to return, his character is dead, and Charlotte has a new love interest. It would be difficult to bring him back to the series. Although we believe the writers could find a way to incorporate Sidney into the script again, a fake death scenario would be cheesy and wouldn't fit into Sanditon as a series. We hope they don't go that way and Charlotte remains in love with Alexander. What do you think about Theo James? Do you think Sidney should come back to Sanditon? Are you Team Alexander or Team Sidney? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. See you soon!